Hello friends, it's Karla here with Creative Scrapbooker magazine, and today we are using some art impressions, stamps, as well as some fun other goodies. This is the Front Porch series, and we're going to make an easel card with these beautiful stamps and supplies. This is the Front Porch door. And then here I have the garden set. It's the accessory set that it's going to work with the door. So you can see with the garden, it's got lots of plants and a wreath and fun spring items. Here's a look at the door, which would be the base. And then you have lots of fun sentiments as well. And there are lots of different stamps in this series. I have some OLFA cutting tools, the scissors and the cutting knife, which are very handy and we're going to use today. Then we have Prism Studio. We have their beautiful pencils, and these blend really lovely. And if you haven't used colored pencils before, you're going to really enjoy working with those. We've got the stitched dies, as well as some scrapbook adhesives by 3L Tape Runner. We have some Archival ink from Ranger, and we've got the Elizabeth Crafts worn wood paper. We're going to bring a little bit of that in as well. So here's those great garden stamps. I think that you could use any of these separately for lots of different things, adding accessories to cards or scrapbook pages. And I went ahead and used the Prism Studio block and stamped on all of those items. We've got them all stamped now, and then I'm pulling out the colored pencils. So here's where we can add some shading to the door using the gray pencils. You could use whatever colors that you like to maybe match someone's house. That would be really nice. I find that adding a little shading around the edges when you're doing a white door and molding works really well, just to add some shadows. So that's how I'm using the gray pencil, and I'm keeping the door and the moldings just looking white. I'm going to come in with some brown to do the step here. And when I'm coloring with these colored pencils, I like to shade a little bit darker with my color first around the edges. And then I will actually come in and color in the rest of it using a lighter hand. And I can always come back and do some shading, a little bit darker in areas if I want to. But I find having that dark edge around the outside just adds a little bit of shading. And the same thing here with this watering can. So I'm adding the gray and just pushing a little bit harder, but these really do go on very nice and smooth. I'm going to add a little bit of the pink color for the tulips, and they really just pop with this pink. And I just filled them in with some lighter and some darker areas. And then I did the same thing with the green. And I used a lot of the colors throughout when I colored, using a lot of the same colors. Here's a look at the door after I've die cut it. It even cuts the little windows. And here's a look at all of those little accessory stamps stamped out and colored. Now we're going to add a door on a paper piece door, and we're going to add the door there to the Prism Studio stamp block and stamp it down. It's going to be hard to see on camera, but I can actually see in person. And I'm just trimming out the door with the OLFA Crafts scissors. And then I can come in with the craft knife and just cut out the area that is the door handle. So I just add the paper pieced area right onto the door, and it just adds a fun element using that beautiful wood grain paper from Elizabeth Craft. To make our top folding easel card, we have a piece of cardstock cut 4 1/4 by 11, and we're scoring at 5 1/2 and 2 3/4 inches. I'm using the Prism Studio scoring tool bone folder, and it's just a really nice weight to hold in your hand. And you can see basically we scored that card in half and then in half again on the front. I cut out a panel again with the Elizabeth Craft wood paper and mounted it on a piece of cardstock 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so regular card size. And then I only attached it at that bottom folded area. I'm going to now apply the door, and I put a little piece of Prism Studio cardstock behind the door just to show through the window. I've got some Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L, some foam adhesive, and I'm adding that. I've got some circles and some squares here, and I'm just layering on all those really cool accessory stamps. I love that the little door opens up and you can see things peeking out. I have some Ranger Stickles glitter glue. This is a clear with an iridescent glitter in it, and I'm just adding that to the light as well as any of the flower centers or wherever I feel like a little bit of glitter would work. I've stamped out a little greeting. This is going to go inside our easel card and act as a little stopper so our card can stand up. So you can see here where it's folded, and we only have that card base attached to the bottom. And then I'm going to put on the sentiment with some foam dots, and the card will rest on there. So you can see once it's folded, it can easily go into an envelope. And then when the recipient receives it, they can stand it up using that little easel mechanism. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I hope that you'll check out some of these art impressions products and all the other fun products that we showed you here today. And I hope you have a very crafty day.